I wrote a 3-page paper with this, so I know what I'm talking about. Have your tea ready, guys. Things are about to get juicy. What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to learn the history of the sewing machine, its significance to us today, the chain of events that happened, just everything history related. This is by far my favorite series because I love sharing my knowledge with you guys, and any chance I get to talk or even look or touch the sewing machine, I am just head over heels excited. The history of the sewing machine is quite interesting, really. It contains a lot of juicy details, scandals, backstabbing. Like, if you love reality TV show, this is that in story form. It's not as juicy as Keeping Up with the Kardashians, where they start fighting each other, cuss each other out, you know, and all that, but it's gonna be good. Before we can get on to this video, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos and be a part of the familia. Also, if you guys want to contribute to this channel, go down to my GoFundMe link. It will lead you to my campaign where you can donate any amount to my YouTube account. All proceeds will go back into creating content for this channel, whether that be DIY, sewing, or whatever you guys wish. Nothing goes to me, all go back to you. So if you would like to contribute, down below, go follow the yellow brick road. And let's get on into the juicy details of how the sewing machine was invented. Sewing started 20,000 years ago with animal bones and animal sinew as the needle and thread. So the sewing machine didn't really start until about the 18th century. In 1755, a man by the name of Charles Frederick Weisenthal, it's always so fun to say, was a German engineer that won a British patent for creating the first needle for a sewing machine. His story is actually not really clear and doesn't have a lot of information to it. Different resources say that he created the very first sewing machine and that it was designed with like a 2-needle type design and like an eye on the side of the machine. But the sources that I was also reading on the other opposite side just said that he created a sewing needle for a sewing machine, which leads us to the next person in which they accredited for officially creating the very first sewing machine, Sir St. Thomas. He was actually not a sir, he was just St. Thomas. St. Thomas was a cabinet maker, and in 1790 he created the sewing machine that used a hand crank in order for you to like da-da-da. But the only thing about it that made it unfortunately not usable for many people was the fact that it only worked with leather and canvas materials. This is irrelevant to the story, really. It's just like an extra piece of information that's more of a fun fact. But a guy named William Newton Wilson in 1874 had looked back at the prototype and decided to create a replica to see if it even worked, and he said it did. So within the few next decades from 1790, restarting back to St. Thomas's story, innovators were creating sewing machines. Nothing was being widely marketed because of just different difficulties within their innovations. Just to name a few unsuccessful innovators in the sewing machine innovation realm, in 1810, a guy named Balthasar Krebs had created a sewing machine that was sewing caps. Did we get you capping from him? It is said that he did not patent his sewing machine and that the sewing machine didn't even work. And then in 1814, an Australian tailor by the name of Joseph Matterspringer continually persistently patenting his designs, but he was still never successful. And in 1818, John Adams Dodge and John Knowles created America's first sewing machine, but it kept busting, so they were unsuccessful as well. Finally, 40 years since St. Thomas had created his little first sewing machine spat, we get a guy by the name of Bartholomew Monnier or Monnier or whatever. He's a French tailor. He was the brick that was needed when it came to the innovation of sewing machine. He was successfully patented for his design and created the world's first clothing sewing machine factory. The machine had a hook needle with a thread that created a chain stitch. And what he was notable for, and what his sewing machine was really notable for, was creating the uniforms for the French armies during that time in 1830. So needless to say, as us young people may call it, he goes viral. And you would think he would have like 10 chicks on each arm or whatnot, but that's not what happened in this case. He's actually taken away competition and business from other people who weren't in that same technology game as he was. Therefore, people were striking against what he was doing and burned down his factory, which unfortunately led to his failure as well as the others. In 1834, Walter Hunt was the first person to create America's first functioning sewing machine. And pretty much he has second thoughts. He's like, you know, this is going to cause unemployment for others, da 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 da. So he does the selfless thing and doesn't patent the machine. Bart had this dude pretty much contemplating his whole life, which eventually was his mistake. Exactly 10 years later though, in 1844, John Fisher, he was an English innovator as well. He creates a sewing machine that eliminates all past disparities that happen in past sewing machines that were innovated. He was the person to eliminate all the issues. His story was actually messed up because he was patenting the machine and the patent office lost his patent. Therefore, he was not recognized for all his hard work. But then a year later, a guy named Elias Howe creates a sewing machine that replicated much of John Fisher's sewing machine, just with a little bit of tweaks. You know, kind of like Vanilla Ice to Queen Under Pressure, that it was the dun 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 dun. It was that extra little in there that made it different. He was the person that got recognized for creating the first sewing machine that eliminated all past disparities, all the issues, and to replicate one of which we use today. How can you do my man's John Fisher like that? Like, how? Elias Howe is known for his lock stitch design, in which he couldn't market in America, so he ships his sewing machine overseas to England. He stays there for a while. He comes back, realizes somebody took his design and made it bigger and more well known in the United States. So he's like, what the heck happened? A guy by the name of Isaac Marin Singer, which most of you probably have heard of Singer before. Singer. He is the world's most probably well-known sewing machine of all time. Singer has a lot of history, and this is where a lot of things really get juicy. Scandal and everything starts because you don't just go behind somebody's back and take their design like that. Which Elias Howe shouldn't be mad actually, because he went behind John Fisher's back and stole his design as well. Isaac Singer was actually the person though to create the design to where our needle goes up and down versus side to side as it did back then, and the reason why our sewing machine has a foot pedal attachment. He is the reason why we have the modern day sewing machine, like the official reason why our thing works the way it does today. But pretty much from here on out, Isaac Singer and Elias Howe pretty much go at it. They go to court for allegations of Elias Howe saying he took my design. Elias Howe ends up winning that case, in which Isaac Singer is like, hey, no, this is what happened. He took my design. Isaac Singer pretty much tried claiming that Elias Howe took his design, was taking other people's design. That's not his design. That's based off of what everybody else is doing for him and not, you know, his own thoughts. I created an original and he did not. But due to the lack of Walter Hunt's patent on his design, they said, hey, there's nothing we can do about that. You know, he doesn't have a patent on his design, which means that it's publicly used for anybody to pretty much manipulate and try to tweak into their own design. I at least give Isaac Singer an A for effort for trying, but no homie, that's not how this works. Despite all the scandals, allegations, and the lawsuits that were going on, Isaac Singer had to give a portion of his company and a buttload of money to Elias Howe because of just that case and whatnot. But, you know, it's pretty much no hard feelings at the end of the day because they were both multimillionaires. They died multimillionaires. So they were like, you know, we both got what we wanted. I got recognition and money. You got some recognition and money. What's the problem? Which is very unfortunate for John Fisher, because if they didn't lose his patent on his design and the chain of events was to happen as they did still, then he would be in the lawsuit. Things would have been even messier, and he would have got the recognition, the money, and everything that he was working towards. Or we would have just been like Elias Howe, who? Isaac Singer, who? In my opinion, scandals and allegations leads to continued use of animal sinew bones. And that is it for Miss Allie's history lesson on the sewing machine. If you guys like this video, please don't forget to subscribe, ring the notification bell, and like this video. Comment down below maybe things that you've learned, things that were interesting to you, if nothing was interesting at all. And I hope to see my Tinkers and Tinkettes next time. Bye, beautifuls.